Hi guys, and welcome to another batch of your replays. Today I decided to go mid-tier medium tanks, and we're kicking off with this game from NusPojava in the JulleII. Yeah, the tier 7 Japanese medium tank, although yeah, it's not a medium tank. Look at this thing. It's as big as a Leva, probably bigger in some ways. And the Leva is a very, very big heavy tank. So the JulleII, it's a big Japanese tank. And I made it clear during my JulleII Ace Tanker that it was a tank I didn't like very much. I just found it too big, too sluggish, the armor not good enough. And the gun is either very good or it's very bad. It's usually good if you get a top tier, not so good when you get it into higher tier games. So this is a higher tier game. That gun is going to haunt NusPojava, but you've only got 155mm of penetration. Now, when you consider this tank sees tier 9s, it's a regular tank, it's regular matchmaking. Yeah, 155mm of penetration against tier 9s, not so good. However, it does get 130 alpha damage, and because you've got a 3-shot magazine in this tank, it means you can do 390 damage very, very quickly if you can hit and pen your targets. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the JulleII, but you can have good games in it. Now, after I posted my JulleII Ace Tanker and spent most of that game complaining about the tank, and saying that I'd never ever play it again, I started receiving quite a few JulleII replays of other players playing the tank well. And I did say back then that if I wasn't going to be playing this tank again, ever, but if you guys wanted to send in replays, you're welcome to. So this was one of those replays. NusPojava's here on Erlenberg. It's a standard game, and what he's going to show you is how to play the JulleII to its strengths. Now, the tank does have some strengths. As I say, the burst damage on the gun is good, but it's got decent view range, and the gun depression is very, very good. So much like a lot of Japanese tanks, they're not assault tanks, they're support tanks. And here is this gun depression. So NusPojava's using his tank to its strengths. He's going to be working this ridgeline, using the gun depression, but having problems penning tanks so far. So out of 6 shots, he's only actually managed to pen the KV-4. Now, he switched to premium ammo, even though he penned the KV-4, because the regular AP is not reliably going to go through. But he sets the KV-4 on fire. Very, very fortunate fire. And I don't think NusPojava is using Sixth Sense in this game, but SU-12244, dangerous tank spotted on the hill. You can see how quickly this tank can put out shots. But NusPojava moving up, and he's firing regular AP again. So another thing you notice about NusPojava's gameplay here is not only is he playing the tank to its strengths, he's using it as a support tank, using it to snipe. Yeah, definitely doesn't have Sixth Sense. But he's making very, very good use of his ammo choices. He's going for light-skinned targets. He's using regular AP where he knows he can pen. And you can see just the rate of fire. Only one damaging hit from that magazine as well, but NusPojava's already up to 1900 damage. And again, he's focusing on tanks he's going to have no problems penning. He's going to let his teammates deal with the tanks with heavier armor. But when he does have to use premium ammo, he only uses it against thicker armored targets. Again, Tiger. And again, only one of those 3 shots goes in. Gets very, very lucky. SU-152 is not using the derp gun. Puts a AP shell into his tracks. But you can see that the tank is big. Even though he's quite far back, he's using gun depression. The tank is just way too big. So he's taking hits. He's on 2,100 damage, but look at the minimap. Unfortunately, the other flank is not doing so well. NusPojava's falling back. He's looking for targets of opportunity. As I say, he's playing it as a support tank, he's playing it as a sniper, he's using its gun depression. He's not being too aggressive, but yet he's already on 2k damage. Just the 1 kill. So again, looking for targets of opportunity. Now, unfortunately, NusPojava's team is full of premium tanks. A lot of premium tanks on NusPojava's team. And unfortunately, his team is going to suffer as a result because a lot of those players playing premium tanks have very, very bad games. And it ends up adding a lot of pressure on the tanks that are remaining as a result. So Type 59 unfortunately ends up having a hissy fit. Oh. So 3 bounces by NusPojava on the Black Prince and no more damage done there, but yeah, Type 59, top tier in a tier 8 game, and he ends up having a very bad game. And part of that is because he has a running battle with a friendly Cromwell and ends up shooting him twice. So Type 59 does very little damage, does almost as much damage to friendlies as he does to the enemy team. And is about to die. But basically what's happened now is it's a 50-50 game. The score is 10-10. Just 2 ISs have pushed down. NusPojava is still holding back, still supporting, still sniping. He's up to 2.5k damage. Looking for targets he can pen. And he's got the side of a tiger. Gets 2 shots in, that's quite nice. But now here's the problem. An IS rolling through spawn. NusPojava's got regular AP, and he just does not have the penetration. Shooting at the beak on an IS-3, down at the beak, and normally you would be able to pen those shots, but the Chiri, no. So NusPojava has to switch to premium ammo, and once again, a couple of shots go into spaced armor, but he's struggling with this IS-3, and the tank is just too big. So he's got beak shots again. So he gets 3 nice shots in, but he takes 338 damage as a result of this tank just being a little bit too big, making it an easy target for the enemy IS-3. So NusPojava needs help. He needs help. They've just lost a friendly IS-3. And that IS-3 is coming for NusPojava. NusPojava's wondering where can he go. He's only on 441 hit points. IS-3 could potentially one-hit kill him if he rolls high. So he very, very cleverly moves down, moves behind this rock. And now he's got to deal with this IS-3. He's still on the premium ammo. And beautiful, beautiful. IS-3 suffered from gun depression issues. NusPojava puts 3 shots in. IS-3, yeah, very, very nice teamwork. NusPojava knew he had a friendly IS-3 in the south. He tricked the enemy IS-3 into coming around the wrong side of the rock. Good work by these 2 guys. You can see that NusPojava knows how to play. He knows what he's doing. He lured the enemy IS-3 into a position where friendlies were able to take him out. And the enemy team recognized this. They're saying, well played, Chiri. So that takes NusPojava up to 3,400 damage. It's 2 versus 3 right now. NusPojava's moving up, trying to get vision. Spots a Tiger 2. Or maybe that was the friendly IS-3 that spotted him. But Tiger 2's on a lot of health. Still an enemy IS-3 to deal with, and a T-44 who's a good player on the enemy team. And here comes the T-44. So NusPojava still on premium ammo. 1, 2, 3... And yeah, unfortunately gets a kamikaze medal. T-44 gets a shot into him and does ram damage. Leaves NusPojava on 62 hit points. It's 2 versus 2 here. And unfortunately bouncing on the Tiger 2. Now it is 1 versus 2. NusPojava's got 12 rounds of premium left. We know how difficult it is to pen the IS-3 for this tank. So yeah, NusPojava has run out of teammates. He's running out of hit points. Not much left he can do. Tank is too slow to run away. And there we go. 4k damage done in a Chiri in a tier 8 game. Unfortunately, his team just weren't quite good enough. So, not only was it an ace tanker at a Chiri, but it was also a heartbreak game. Chiri, I hate you so much. Yeah, I dislike this tank immensely, but I did say at the time of the previous ace tanker video that a lot of players out there play it well. It's quite difficult to get an ace tanker in. Some players out there just seem to like this tank. I'm in the ballpark of those who don't like it very much and think it's a terrible tank, but when you play it to its strengths, you can have very good games, as NusPojava did there. He played it as a support tank, wasn't on the front line. He sniped, he used his view range, he used his gun depression, he made good use of his ammo, switching between regular AP and premium ammo when he needed it. That's something you've got to do in a Chiri. I think it's going to be very difficult to do well in this tank without having quite a lot of premium ammo loaded. But NusPojava, as I say, picked up an ace for that defeat. He also picked up high caliber and a kamikaze medal. He finished top on XP with 1455. Very, very nice XP game. 4,117 damage. So he hit at least 2 blind shots. Big damage game. 3 kills. And it is a shame the premium tanks in his team couldn't have had a bigger impact. FCM 50T top tier could have had a much bigger game, but yeah, unfortunately, it just doesn't work out sometimes. Type 59 did 708 damage, but also managed to do 458 damage to a friendly tank and then spent the rest of the game insulting him. So yeah, focus less on your team, focus more on the enemy, focus more on your gameplay. Try not to rage as much, because NusPojava really could have done with that Type 59 having a better game. Leva, typical Leva result. 5 shots fired, 0 damage done, 0 kills, yeah. Don't buy tier 8 premium tanks, guys, till you get to tier 8. Type 64 was also, didn't have a very good game, could have done some more spotting damage, but yeah, I have to say the premium tanks on his team did let him down. E25 didn't have a good game either, but I have to say, very good result, NusPojava, well played. He fired 54, he hit 46. That's quite surprising, because when you're sniping with this gun, sometimes when you're firing out those shots so quickly, the accuracy suffers, but it doesn't seem to have affected NusPojava too much. Nice hit ratio to the shots fired. Of the 46 he fired, he only penned 27. There's that 155 millimeters of penetration, one of the reasons I dislike the tank. He spotted 2, damaged 9, destroyed 3, did 616 assistance damage, and even though it was an amazing result, an amazing game, big damage game, because he had to fire premium, he ended up making a loss. And it wasn't as if he was spamming it, he was choosing it selectively. And you've got to do that in the Chiri. So it just, it's not even a good money maker, guys. I dislike the tank. But yeah, first game of the day, or wasn't the first game of the day on a standard account. He ended up earning 940 XP for that defeat. And picked up extra XP because of some battle awards. Finished up with 1455. Yep, Chiri, heartbreak, as per usual. But let's move on. Staying with mid-tier mediums, we've got this game from JulleII in the Rudy, the T-3485 premium tank, tier 6 premium tank. It's a Polish tank, although it's in the Russian lines. He is here on Sacred Valley. He is a tier 6 and a tier 7 game, although there are only 2 tier 7s on the enemy team. And we are just going to go. Here we go. The Rudy is a tank. I've got a lot of reviews coming up on the channel. Problem is, reviews take me 2 days to make. It takes 2 days work to do a review. But the Rudy is one of those tanks I'm going to be reviewing. So I've got a Rudy review. Just need to sit down and make it. I've got a ISU 122S review coming. I've got an AT-15A review coming. And probably the next review that's going to be on the channel is the Panzer II-D. I've been meaning to make that review for a couple of weeks. I just need 2 days to sit down, record all the footage, all the garage stuff, edit it and put it together. But I've got all the footage I need. I've done all the play testing for all of those tanks. I don't know what JulleII is doing here. I think he may have gone AFK. But he is here. Maybe I'll increase the size of the minimap. As I say, he's here on Sacred Valley, and he's pushed north. And usually you would expect enemy tanks to be pushing along the A line, but JulleII has come up here and he's alone. And he hasn't encountered any enemy tanks, so he's being cautious. but it doesn't look as if the enemy have sent anyone up here. So KV-85 down in the dip to his right. JulleII is moving up. He's got side shots. And this tank, it's just, the rate of fire is great. The accuracy is decent. The speed and mobility of the Rudy are very good. Yeah, it's basically a T-34-85, fully upgraded. Ooh, near hit by RT there. But the T-34-85 is probably a very, very average, maybe even slightly above average medium tank. And the premium version, the Rudy, is just as good. I didn't really enjoy the T-34-85 enough to keep it. But the Rudy is a purchase I really, really like. I like the Rudy. Really enjoyed playing this tank over the course of a day for the review footage. And you can see why. It's just a typical medium tank. He was able to flank, he was able to move up. He's on a second kill, taking out both enemy RT. And he's just playing this like a medium tank. It's a medium tank that can be played like a medium tank. It is a little bit sluggish, but it gets very, very good ground resistance, so it takes a little bit of time to get to its top speed, but it's not a slow tank. So JulleII has completely flanked enemy tanks. He's playing this medium tank perfectly. He's gotten behind a TOG, and now he can just feast. The gun is rapid firing, it's got decent alpha damage. As I say, the gun is the final gun from the T-34-85, so it's a pretty good gun when you get to the sides and rear of enemy vehicles, just like JulleII has done. He's feasting on this TOG, he's already up to 700 damage. Not much to shoot at, but he gets another shot in. So that's almost 900 damage done to a TOG. TOG is not very happy. He's going to spend the rest of the game complaining about being outflanked and outplayed by JulleII in his Rudy. Yeah, apparently the thing that upsets him most is the fact that he killed enemy RT. That JulleII killed enemy RT, but JulleII again, look at the speed. He's up to 55 kilometers an hour. Didn't have much of a run-up. He's advancing. Now, of course, it's a typical T-34-85 in that the gun depression is not fantastic, but it's workable. Haven't talked about the gun much. I've been waiting for a break in the action, but hasn't been one yet. Yeah, the TOG is still on in chat. Could have gone for a track shot. That's the first mistake I think he's made. This is going to hurt. SU-100, big gun. And big high roll, 414, leaving JulleII on just 288. Needs to go for track shots, but not getting them. Now a VK appears, and JulleII is suddenly in trouble because he is a one-hit kill. That SU-100, very, very dangerous, 122mm. And he's coming again. JulleII needs to track him, But for some reason, these tanks aren't going on the offensive. They're hanging back, they're playing way too passively. Oh, now here comes the VK. Missed his track shot. Now JulleII has taken a hit. He's down to 182. He's been flanked by the SU-100. And, oh, I think JulleII was panicking a little bit. He's been flanked. That SU-100, he's a dead. VK above him misses. JulleII is reversing back. Don't know why the SU-100 hasn't fired, but JulleII bounces the VK, falls back. He's in front of the SU-100. Takes his time. He must have been beating the SU-100's gun arc, but he kills the SU-100. Very, very lucky, but he's already up to 2.5k damage, 3 kills. And the damage really, really racks up on the Rudy. I think it's a very, very good premium tank, but I'm going to talk a lot more about it when it comes to the review. So I wouldn't poke here. I probably wouldn't have poked, because if the VK is still sitting there, JulleII really just doesn't have a lot of hit points left, and there he is. The enemy RT FV304 is going to work. So JulleII is trying to side scrape, trying to angle. VK is straightening up his armor by going downhill. And the FV has just reduced JulleII to 31 hit points. Oh, this is not looking good, but friendly RT comes to the rescue. Is the enemy FV going to reload in time? He does, but not close enough to kill JulleII. There's an E25 that's very dangerous on the J line. But yeah, that was a little bit of a hairy situation. But the Rudy was able to shoot its way out of that situation. It's one of the reasons I really like the tank. But JulleII is moving up. Now, if I was the FV, I would have set up an ambush on the corner waiting for JulleII to poke. But maybe the FV is a little bit further back. Dog 2 is still complaining in chat about the Rudy. Oh, FV! FV wasn't looking this way. JulleII gets away with it, but hits the wall. FV misses. JulleII's on 4 kills. Can he make it a Pascucci's medal by killing the third RT? Yes, he does. 4 kills, 3.1k damage, and the Tog, Tog is still complaining. So an ace tanker in the Rudy for JulleII. He also picked up a Pascucci's for taking out the 3 enemy arty. He also picked up a high caliber. Really nice game showing what the Rudy can do. And just remember, JulleII was not top tier. He was a tier 6 and a tier 7 game. 1447 XP, 3129 damage done, 4 kills. It's a very good tank, guys. And when it comes on sale, I'm going to be recommending it when I finally get around to doing the review. 24 shots fired, 19 hits, 18 penetrations, 3000 damage. Great gun. He spotted 4, damaged 7, destroyed 4, and did 111 assistance damage, and earned 46,500 credits with a premium account. So it's a fairly decent money maker as well. 2,170 XP on a ×2 first game of the day left JulleII just short of 5,000. And I want to thank JulleII for sending that replay in the Rudy, and NusPojava for sending that replay in the JulleII. So the Rudy, a tank I really recommend and love, and the JulleII I absolutely hate, think it's terrible. But that doesn't mean you can't have good games in either. 2 really nice replays. Thank you guys for sending them in, or in the case of NusPojava for sending that replay in quite so long ago. Sorry it's taken me that long to get around to it, but thank you guys at home for watching as well. I'll see you next time.